Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United agenda. It started already. Guys, let's start again. Welcome to the Man United agenda, and tonight we're going to be discussing Cavani to Barcelona, or will he end up going to Corinthians, or will he end up going back to Juventus? And welcome to the Man United agenda. Yes, everyone. Hello, welcome to the Man United agenda. And apologies for people there backstage. And as always, welcome Talk, OMONDI, and Jay. How are we all doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm taking to the Stoke. I'm taking it to Stoke.
Yeah, just got on a taxi solo, won't you?
Listen, I need a taxi for myself already.
Yeah, taxi for solo.
Just get the coat.
Oh, get my code. Oh, absolutely brilliant, guys. Welcome to the Man United agenda, everyone.
Yeah, just to add, when Solo came here from Jamaica, he turned up at Heathrow, and the taxi driver said to him, "You're right," and Solo said, "Hello." He ended up in Harrow. With his accent. Anyway, that's crusty. Let's move on. You did live in Harrow, didn't you?
I think I did an intro. I did, yeah. I think I did. I introduced everyone. How we all doing? How we all doing? Before we kickstart the show, I was watching Jay earlier, and Jay came up before we start the show regarding what's happening with Cavani, Rashford, and Van der Sar. Let's start with Van der Sar first. Coming back to Man United as a CEO possibility. Jay, you were doing your show today, and you rated Van der Sar a better keeper than Peter Schmeichel.
Yes.
Please give your evidence. Stack it up, because I don't agree with you.
Right. I'll ask you a simple question, yeah? There's a simple question you have to ask yourself when you decided who's the better goalkeeper out of Edwin van der Sar and Peter Schmeichel. Yeah? Did Edwin van der Sar ever cartwheel in front of Manchester United fans in a Manchester derby whilst playing for Manchester City after the Beatles? No. There you go. Okay.
This is like yesterday's show when they were talking about Lingard wearing a West Ham shirt. He's terrible all of a sudden, you know?
Right. Do you know what? Right. I would admit, I haven't forgiven him for that. I am a little bit bitter. But also, I've always rated Van der Sar over any other goalkeeper. I think Van der Sar, I think sometimes he gets a little bit he's a victim of his own ability. And that might sound like a nonsensical contradictory statement. But I think with Van der Sar, one of the things that he was very good at was his positioning. His positioning was elite. I've never seen a player make so many just simple saves because he knew where the ball was going to go. Look at him where he was at free kicks, where he was when shots were coming in. And he was very good at his concentration, because with Van der Sar, what would happen is when we had we were talking off camera before, and Monday was pointing out that he had the likes of Rio and Vidic. And it's a fair comment, he did have very good defenders most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time he had very good defenders in front of him. But you can have very good defenders in front of you, and you've got nothing to do for 80 odd minutes. And then you've got that one chance, that one really good chance. And what do? You switched on. You're on it. Do you know what I mean? You happen. And there's not coincidence that Van der Sar won 2 Champions Leagues, one at Ajax and one at Manchester United. You don't do that by accident. You don't win titles everywhere you go. The only sort of crazy thing about Van der Sar was it ended up at Fulham for a little while. It was like, how that happened, I still never know. But for me, listen, as a goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel, you go back to some of those games, Newcastle away in 1996 is a great example. One of probably out of the performances, the best goalkeeping performance I've ever seen. I'll be honest with you on that one. But on the whole, when I look at their time at Manchester United, for me, the best keeper I ever saw was Edwin van der Sar. And I know I joke and I make comments about Peter Schmeichel and all that, but it just was for me. I just think, he broke all the records. And there's a reason behind that as well. And also, don't forget, when he broke that record, 14 clean sheets, I think it was. It's a Premier League record. Yes, we had Vidic and Rio a lot of time, but Vidic and Rio, a lot of those games, Rio wasn't playing every game. Vidic wasn't playing every game. You know, Evans had come in, other players had come in, whether that was a Gary Neville or Wes Brown or whatever. Van der Sar was a constant, and he always delivered. No matter whether you're asking him to make lots of saves or 1 or 2, he always delivered. And Peter Schmeichel had a lot of good games, obviously, for Manchester United. But there was 1 or 2 moments. You go back to 99, a treble-winning season. Fantastic season for Peter Schmeichel. Fantastic season for Manchester United. But I remember, was it Bayern Munich away? There's a couple of ropey ones there. Barcelona as well, a couple of ones there. With Van der Sar, I don't think he really ever made any mistakes, ever. Like, I can think of 1 off the top of my head. I think that was maybe the West Brom game at home. Or maybe Liverpool, maybe 2 then. But yeah, with Schmeichel, now and again, you get it. Both fantastic goalkeepers. Both probably the 2 best goalkeepers for me the Premier League has ever seen. And we're fortunate enough to have them both play for Manchester United. So yeah, while Van der Sar gets my vote, I'm not going to pretend it's set in stone and it's an obvious one because they were both superb. One was just a bit more loyal than the other.
Yeah. What's his name again? Tobias? What's his name? The goalkeeper? You don't rate him at all then?
Who?
What's the one name? The one that the ball rolled in against Liverpool. What's his name again?
Tobias.
I was asking the question what his name was.
Take me to Tahibi.
Yeah, you don't rate him at all then. He doesn't get in. He doesn't get a shot. He doesn't get a shot there. Oh god.
Massimo Tahibi. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's the one.
No, I tell you what, that joke worked well, didn't it? Should we do that again? Oh, we can't. It's live.
It's too much. It's gone. It's gone. I can't cut it. I can't edit it. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Can't do the joke now. Can't do the joke. Oh god. Can't do the joke. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh. So,
Errol, man, you crack me up, honestly.
Oh, listen, Jay, I think you said it before. We should do a commentary or something when it comes to when Slovakia play or one of those teams. I still remember. I think we should.
Bro, I'm not being funny, but you could do one for United versus Liverpool. It'd still be hilarious.
Can you, Errol,
you know this Slovakia versus Estonia.
Can you say Dusan Vlahovic?
Dusan Vlahovic.
Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
Say again.
Dusan Vlahovic.
No, Vlahovic.
Vlahovic.
Yeah, that's good.
That's not bad. It's not bad, actually.
Not bad. I can't say anything. My pronunciation's terrible. My memory's terrible as well. Solo, it really is. You just put me in the shade. I think you put us all in the shade, bro.
I even still say Manchester. That's how it's supposed to be said. That's it.
Do you know what though? It is some people in the chat are making some good comments. We went through so many keepers between Schmeichel and Van der Sar.
Yeah,
really. You know, you forget about them, don't you? Like some of them. You know, like someone was saying Carroll, Tahibi. There was Bosnich.
I didn't really rate Bosnich at all, you know. Howard, I rate Howard higher than Barthez.
Yeah, Barthez
was a failure, I think.
Yeah, Barthez wasn't.
Barthez was ropey, especially against Arsenal. Then he had some stickers against Arsenal.
Oh, he did that Thierry Henry famous goal as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and was it Canio? And Canio's just
with his arm up. Remember that one?
What are you doing? Yeah,
someone's put in the chat John O'Shea, man. Do you remember John O'Shea? Good shout at White Hart Lane, clean sheet.
Yep.
Did he go in? I thought Rio Ferdinand was in goal one time. Huh?
Now John O'Shea went in against Spurs, and he
good shout.
He kept a clean sheet as well. I'm pretty sure it was at White Hart Lane. It was a good performance. Very good. I'm glad someone brought it back. Mentioned
I didn't know that.
Oh
just can I just have my little 2 cents on this? I think
go on, OMONDI, yeah. Please.
I like Schmeichel, man. I mean, he saved penalties for Denmark. They won the championship, didn't they, in '92? Yeah. He saved penalties in the shootouts there. Bergkamp in '99. Like you said, the 1-0 victory against that rampant Newcastle side. I just think for great saves, you know, he stands out. But then I was convinced until Jay started talking, and I thought, actually, he makes good. Because Van der Sar, like I said, I can't think of a mistake. I cannot think. But there's plenty of mistakes that Schmeichel made. But that's a good discussion, good debate.
Yeah. It's one of those few ones where I know this sounds again. I'm contradicting myself. There's no wrong answer really. Do you know what I mean? Like you know, it's not like we're going, oh, is it Schmeichel or is it Nick Culkin or whatever? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like we're not being silly about this. These are 2 elite goalkeepers, and I think it's a great debate. And I'm just looking at the fact that you know, we can have it about 2 Manchester United goalkeepers.
Yeah, 100%. And let's go now and start talking about, obviously, Van der Sar looking, rumors are, once Ed Woodward hang his boots up in April, Van der Sar is likely to come to Man United.
Sorry. That vision of Ed Woodward in boots just makes me laugh. Can you imagine that?
I don't know what imagination you're having there, Talk.
What is
Pair
that?
of football boots. Pair of football boots on Ed Woodward.
Oh,
no.
go out there. Innit? You want cash? Take cash. Anyone, take it. Take money.
I missed that. I don't understand.
Right, it's cool Monday. Just let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Oh, don't let me start singing again on Monday. Don't let me start singing. Don't let me start singing. So let's kick off. Talk. Van der Sar coming back as CEO at Manchester United. Can you see sort of like the Ranić sort of rebuilding taking shape if he does, if the rumor is true?
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, he's going to do a better job than Woodward, that's for sure. So, for me, you know what? Yeah, let him have it. Let him have it. He knows the club. You know, he's got good relations with the club. So, for me, I don't see. You know, it's always, listen. It doesn't matter what you do at any club. It's always a risk. You always bring people in on goodwill and on like past experiences and etc. etc. But for me, I think it'd be a good move. To be fair.
Yeah. Jay, he obviously was at Man United for 6 seasons from 2005 until 2011. We spoke about he had spell at Fulham. He also had spell at Juventus and also Ajax, where he went back home. And obviously he got promoted to the CEO of Ajax at the moment. And it's almost like with Ajax, it's the academy, the way they're set up and the way they build each team. And each season, the team seems like no one's been sold. They're a selling club, but it's almost like no one's been sold, and it's the same system, the same everything from youth straight through to the senior team. Van der Sar coming in, would this be a good choice for Manchester United?
I mean, on paper, it makes sense. You know, Van der Sar is a club legend. He's got the experience of being a CEO at Ajax. He's had success there. I think Ajax, you know, they had a decent stab at the Champions League a couple of years ago. Obviously dominating Dutch football at the minute. But for me, there's still an element of the unknown. Because this, you know, being no disrespect to Ajax, and he's doing a good job at Ajax, but being CEO at a club like Ajax, you've always been relatively well run. We've always had a great youth system. We've always a bit more or less been in a bit of a 2-horse, 3-horse race at best in the Dutch league. To come into Manchester United, where you've got owners who are absolute morons, who don't care about the club, who just want to make as much money as they can, who like to have a say in how the club is run. You've got that issue to deal with. You've got other issues as well. The ground still needs work. It's still falling apart. We haven't got a training ground that I think is fit for purpose. So it's okay. It's not elite. It's not certainly not the standards that some other training grounds are at. You've got the under-23s and the women playing in Lee Sports Village, where I think we need a new designated training ground or playing ground for them. These are sort of things that I'd like a CEO to look at. Is he going to be given the opportunity to do that? Is he going to be given the freedom that he wants, the freedom that he's got at Ajax? Or is he going to come in here and he's going to have Joel Glazer or Avram Glazer breathing down his neck?
Yeah.
Is he going to have that sort of situation? Is he going to have a situation where, you know, he's not giving, or the manager isn't giving the funds, or Ralph Rangnick, who's staying on as a consultancy role, is still having to say, and those two clash. There's so many unknowns here with this. So, listen, if Edwin van der Sar comes in as CEO, am I going to be happy about that? Probably am, because it's Edwin van der Sar. But there's no guarantees. We don't know like how he's gonna fit into United as a CEO. This isn't Edwin van der Sar coming in as a goalkeeper in 2005, where you knew what you were getting. I think he'll do a good job, but there's always an element of the unknown when it comes to a job like that under the Glazers, because the common denominator here is you've got them owners to deal with. That's what he's got to deal with. It's not the team or the players or the academy, which are all good. It's the owners.
That's one of the things I was going to mention there, CJ, about with this role. Now you mention it, is can he actually do as good a job as Woodward done in terms of the finances, like, you know, the revenue? Because obviously he's a banker, isn't he? He's in banking, Woodward. That's what he was in banking. So that would be a, like I said, and you match that up against the relationship that he may have, we say may, with the Glazers, the way they operate, you know, skimming.
Yeah. It's not even skimming, is it? Really? They look at it. Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? So that could be a difficult relationship, and now you put it in them terms. Now I'm questioning my own sort of the way I've come to terms with that. That that's a possibility. I'm now thinking, oh wait a minute, actually, could that actually work?
I mean, the one thing, like, you see, again, I have a bit of an issue sometimes with the whole Woodward thing. I know a lot of people, and I'm not, you know, I know why you're saying it. Woodward does well on the financial side of things, but I think if you look at the growth before Woodward came, the rate of growth was higher. Woodward's got this reputation of growing this club financially and bringing all this money. I think from around late 90s to early 90s was that the rate of growth was a lot higher than sort of 2005 onwards when the Glazers took over and Woodward came in. Obviously, he brokered the deal for the Glazers as well, which is a negative for Manchester United. All right, from a banking point of view, he did what he had to do, but it's not. I don't think it's done us any favors. And I think there's this thing of like, oh, Woodward's good at this side, he's not good at the other. I just think he's been bad news for Manchester United. Full stop. To be honest with you, I just feel like I don't like to say, oh, I don't know, it goes over my head, but when it comes to the business side of things and the management side of things, my only thing is I'd want someone who understands football making football decisions. So if he's given that freedom to do that, then I'm all for it. My only trouble is, I honestly think, and I've said this many a time, that the Glazers, it's not just that they want to make money out of Manchester United. I think they look at it like their own little private, sort of piggy, not just piggy bank, but also plaything. And they like to stick the nose in now and again. They like to make decisions. They like to, just flex the muscles. And I think someone like Edwin van der Sar is a very proud, sort of strong, knowledgeable man. He ain't going to have that. And I think when you've got that thing of him and Rangnick as well, there's just got to be a level of trust and freedom for him to make decisions that he needs to make. And I just have no faith in these owners to enable him to do that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope if he does come in, he's able to do it. Because I think on paper, Woodward, Van der Sar with Rangnick as a consultant, and then maybe another manager coming in the summer, like a Ten Hag or a whoever, would make sense. It would seem to work. It's just that problem for me has always been these owners and the way they go about things just isn't conducive to Manchester United challenging at the very top of football.
Yeah. And OMONDI, last but not least.
Yeah, you're talking about Van der Sar as a CEO for Man United. I think he's a keeper.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Hey?
He's got another run
after the Tobias debacle earlier.
Yeah.
You dragged us out of rubbish there. Well done, OMONDI. That's how it's done.
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant.
Anyway, yeah. Look, man, the guy knows the club. Every time I see him speak, like I said, I only know the football side of things. I don't really know about what CEOs does and all that kind of thing. But when you look at Overmars and Ajax, any of these ex-players, they sort of recycle them. Frank de Boer's come through, ex-players. They always bring them up and give them good positions. And it's a well-run club, as Jay was saying earlier. So it's hard to gauge, like with players that come from Holland and score like a goal a game. It's hard to gauge how they would do in other leagues, that kind of thing, So for me, as CEO Ajax, do successful. Overmars, successful. Arsenal want Overmars to do this director of football at Arsenal. Will he be successful? I don't know. It's a different league, different ball game completely. But I do like Van der Sar. He represents himself really well, really tall, always wears a suit, well-spoken. I mean, when I've heard him talk...
He's not smart enough. He's not smart.
When I've heard him talk, I say, okay, it's impressive. And the thing is, someone's got to have the best intention for the club. You don't want to bring someone in who's just, like you said, Woodward's a businessman and he's trying to pocket something or whatever. He wants to do, I think Edwin van der Sar has been linked with the club for a long time now, and he would want to do well. It's his reputation on the line as well. He'd want to do well. He's a legend, as Jay keeps saying, better than Schmeichel, he thinks, but he's a legend of goalkeeper for the club. So coming in and doing a job like that, high profile name and that, I think he'd want to do well. So give him a job.
I love the fact that one of the reasons you want to give him a job is because of his height.
Yeah. You know why?
I
saw an interview. He's on the pitch, and Rio was like that, and he had an air of like. Think about him,
I can imagine I can imagine you giving a job interview. You know what? We like your CV. We love what you said in the interview, but I'm afraid You're just not tall enough, bro.
No, bro. Do you know what's the best part though, Jay?
Yeah.
I can take the job now. I'll wear a suit every day.
You wear suit every
Yeah,
day,
exactly.
and you two, yeah, you're both well over
You know,
6
you know
foot.
what it is? A suit makes a world of difference. It does.
You know what?
You know, if you go in there with a suit, everyone's like,
I feel sorry for Mr. B if you ever give him a job interview. He's got no chance.
It doesn't stand a chance at all. On Monday, sorry guys, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe to the Man United Agenda. We did do a draw yesterday for the Bruno Fernandes signed shirt. We're still waiting for on Monday. Would you like to say the name?
Okay, so just going through. Hi, Yank. Hi, DJ Snowy.
Big up, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Mark Carroll. Jackie's in the house. Okay, so they were discussing about the goalkeeper debate that we had earlier on in the show, saying, what's VDS, Errol?
No comment.
Sorry.
No comment.
Van der Sar is an elite intelligent keeper.
Errol knows that VDS is the best Dutch player at Manchester United, isn't he? Hey, he's a cracking midfielder, and he should be our number 10.
And a right back. Don't forget, he can play right back too.
Yeah.
And is this PS1 or 2 or 3? It's PS. Yeah, it's not PlayStation, Errol. It's Peter Schmeichel. Was great.
It's a game.
As well, and I prefer him Jackie's preferring Van der Sar as for his style as a keeper. Do
you know what I love? Do you know what thing I'd love to ask Van der Sar? And I've watched this a million times, right? I'm not exaggerating. I've watched it so many times, and I still can't work it out, but I have a theory that he is doing. You know when he saves Anelka's penalty? You know when he's diving?
Yeah.
To save Anelka's penalty? I look at him, I swear he's smiling. You know, because he's smiling like that. I swear, you can't really see properly. I'd love to ask him that. I've ever got to interview him. That's the first question I'd ask him.
Quick question. Do you reckon he was good with his feet? Is he a modern day goalkeeper? Was he good with his feet, Edwin?
Yeah, he had good distribution. He
was good. I mean, do you know what? Like, David De Gea took it to a different level, I think, with his feet. If you look at all the saves David De Gea made, especially early on, he makes a lot of saves with his feet, where that was quite rare for a goalkeeper to do it that often, as frequently, as David De Gea does. But I think Van der Sar, he was.
I'm referring to like distribution.
Distribution, yeah.
Like
sorry, I thought you meant save. Yeah. If you look at where United play in those days, when you associate, don't forget. Yes, we always think, don't we, of those Ferguson sides and United almost playing from the back. We didn't a lot of the time. We'd play wherever the best opportunities came from. And I've seen United go long. I've seen United do a big Van der Sar do a big hoof up to Louis Saha or Ronaldo or Rooney or whatever, just bypass the midfield. And I've seen them strikers running onto it. And what Van der Sar was very good as well was the quick sort of turnover, getting that ball and straight away starting an attack, whether that's going long or short. He was very quick in that, and we had the players obviously to do it as well. So don't get me wrong, Schmeichel was good at it as well. There's no point in pretending he wasn't, but I think distribution-wise, Van der Sar was very good.
Yeah, our player you just mentioned, but that might be for another show, is Louis Saha. I don't think people understood how good he was. Yeah. He was absolute class.
Shame about injuries. He was.
That was his problem on it. If he stayed fit, he would have been. We'd be talking about him in the same breath as the Andy Coles of this world, but he just had injuries all the time.
Yeah, top player.
Just going back to the comments here, they're saying Schmeichel. This is Matt. He says Schmeichel was flamboyant, and Van der Sar just got down to business. As simple as that.
It's cold, Van der Sar.
Hi, Jay, Billy, Josh. He says Schmeichel dominated his defense, and Schmeichel dominated his defense, where Van's defense was at ease, whereas Van's defense was at ease with his calm and collective kind of thing.
There's a comment on here as well, Jay. I'm going to bring it up quickly. Sorry, on Monday. Where is it gone? Rebel is causing problems. He's all the way in Ireland, but always causing issues about the Henderson and basically on Monday and De Gea over Henderson. Which one you taking, Jay?
Jay, I'm going to say, Jay, listen, the way David De Gea has been playing recently, I don't think he deserves to be dropped. In the summer, I thought Henderson deserved a chance. I've been quite critical of David De Gea over these last 18 months, well, longer than that, since the World Cup in Spain. I think he's lost his form. You know, the amount of mistakes he's made have become more frequent. But since Rangnick's come in, David De Gea has played well, and you know, he was man of the match one here the other week. Yeah. So you play players who are on form. David De Gea is on form. I just wonder, and I said this on our channel, whether, you know, there is a third way. Whether, I don't think it's set in stone that David De Gea or Dean Henderson are going to be at Manchester United for the next 3 or 4 years or whatever. I think you might have to look at it, because if David, the thing that people have to remember is, a few years ago, David De Gea being dropped for Dean Henderson would have seemed outrageous. It would have seemed outrageous. And yet that happened. And it happened for a reason. And that was because David De Gea made some mistakes. He made mistakes in games that cost United points, that cost United goals. And Dean Henderson was managed to get himself in there. And at one point, he was our first choice Premier League goal scorer. Now, he got COVID in the summer. And I think had he not got COVID, he would have stayed our first choice goalkeeper. But he did. And David De Gea, to be fair, took his, you can call it taking his chance, took his chance well. So I just think because you've had this situation where you've had 2 goalkeepers fighting for it, that tells me that neither of them has been outstanding over that period. I think they've had good games, but they've also had games where you've had to look at it and go, hang on a minute. You know, you look at Dean Henderson against Liverpool, you look at him against, which one was it, the Champions League? Is it Roma? I think it was AC Milan in the Champions League. Not in the Champions League, Europa League, sorry. You look at David De Gea. There's been a few games, haven't there, over the last couple of years where, you know, I look at Watford, I look at Everton, I look at Crystal Palace, I look at those games, Barcelona, just Arsenal, just mistakes. No words, you know, no point sugarcoating it, just mistakes. So I still think there's a little bit of a question mark, you know, if neither of them step up, if David De Gea doesn't keep up that form, does Ralph Rangnick or another manager go, I don't fancy Dean Henderson, I want somewhere else? Or does he give Dean Henderson a chance? But if David De Gea carries on playing the way he's played the last few weeks, gets back to the form we know he's capable of, then it's De Gea. De Gea will keep his place. I just think we have to be realistic, because people sometimes have this recency bias where you go, David De Gea is, you know, I can't believe people were ever doubting him. There was a reason he was getting doubted. I'm not making it up. Yeah. You know, Dean Henderson doesn't get in that team if David De Gea is playing well. He doesn't. Doesn't matter how well you go and play in Sheffield United on loan for a season. You ain't getting ahead of David De Gea unless David De Gea makes mistakes, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
What do you make of the links, Jay, with Melia at Leeds?
I don't know a lot about him, to be honest with you, bro. I mean, again, it's a possibility. Do you know what I mean? I think the thing at the minute is it's just because we're in this interim period. You don't know, you know, what is real and what is not real, and how much, you know, is going to happen now or can happen now, and how much will happen in the summer. And because someone else is going to come in the summer, what does that mean? Does that mean that, you know, that we might have these targets, and those targets might change?
Yeah, but that in itself, though, is still in doubt, though, isn't it, really, if you think about it, with Rangnick? Because, you know, we know he wants the job full time. He wants the job. He wants it past the 6 months, don't we? We know that already. Yeah. So and do you know the best thing about that for me is he wants to do his utmost to try and, if he wants to do his utmost to secure that position, that's great. That's great for us as fans and great for the club. So hopefully for me, that does turn out to be the case. I would rather him, if he does get us into a good position in the league and maybe hopefully brings home some silverware, which we're all craving, rather than, you know, I don't want the Europa League because, you know, don't want it anywhere near Old Trafford. Sorry, right? If he brings us some decent silverware, then you know what? For me, we'll gotta let him go. Keep going, Ralph.
Well, we won't win the Europa League this season anyway. We're not in that this season. Thankfully, we're at the second time of asking with a draw. We've got Atletico, haven't we, in the Champions League?
As well.
Yeah. I don't know. I understand what you're saying, and don't get me wrong. If we were to win the Champions League or something, or even the FA Cup and to finish third or fourth, whatever, you might go, yeah, Rangnick's done enough. But I quite like the idea. For me, having someone who's a football man moving upstairs and overseeing things appeals to me. Now, maybe you have a situation Rangnick stays where he is as manager. Van der Sar comes in as CEO. I like that. It's a common sense approach. But one thing United have been crying out for is not a football manager who's a football man. It's the person above him, because you've had someone above the manager who doesn't know anything about football. Yeah. Everyone on this podcast knows more about football than Ed Woodward. You do. You know what I mean? He's not a football man. He was a rugby fan. He was a banker. And he's been elevated to one of the most important positions in the history of our club. And I'm sorry, but he's been found wanting. He really has.
Christmas time with Vaughan. Sorry, talk. Christmas time with Vaughan. Jay, that's a question for you.
Does Jay think it's odd, instead of building a team around history's greatest goal scorer, we are building around Fred. Bro, I think it's a bit of a stretch to say we're building the team around Fred. Like, I understand. And maybe that's a little bit tongue in cheek, but I think that Fred's, again, since Rangnick come in, Fred's played very well, and I've criticised Fred. But I don't think that I don't think we're building a team around him. What was the question? Sorry about Dean Henderson now. Someone put something on, sorry to be narcissistic.
Jay making out like Dean Henderson, only got his chance because De Gea was in poor form. I believe Dean Henderson improved massively also to get those games.
Well, let's face facts. It's a bit of both, but you don't get past David De Gea if he's playing as well as he played in 2017-18. You don't. The guy was the best goalkeeper in the world. Now, with no disrespect, you could go on loan at Sheffield United and tear it up, and you can tear it up in training, but you're not going to get past David De Gea. If he was in the form that he used to be in, because he was amazing. He was literally like, he was the only player we had in our team where you would go, he walks into anyone else's team in the world. He's the best in his position in the world. And he was our player of the season, what was it, 3 years out of 4 or something?
Yeah.
4 years out of 5? That David De Gea, I don't care how good you are in training or how good you are on loan. You're not getting him. He's just not getting dropped. He isn't. And yet, for that door to be open, yes, I'm not disputing Dean Henderson didn't do well at Sheffield United. He did. But for that door to be open in the first time place, the keeper's got to open it for him.
Thank you, Rebel.
That's just
I've
the
got
nature
this
of football, isn't it? That's the nature of the club. That's the nature of, you know, because at the end of the day, if you've got to be ready as a kind of number 2, or if you are the number 1 who's been dropped, you've always got to be ready to reclaim your spot. That's how it works.
I mean, look at Raymond van der Gaal. Raymond van der Gaal was a fantastic goalkeeper. He didn't get ahead of Schmeichel. He got his chance when Schmeichel left. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, we've had good backup goalkeepers, but you know, I remember there was a time when people thought Ben Foster was going to get in ahead of Van der Sar. Van der Sar got injured. Ben Foster came in, had a terrible stinker against the Manchester City in the derby. Do you remember? And then another stinker a few weeks later against Sunderland. And I'm not saying Ben Foster's not a good goalkeeper, because he's a very good goalkeeper. But in terms of Manchester United, when he had that opportunity, he didn't really take it, did he? And I think that, it's a mixture of both. You've got to be very good, obviously, and ready and show that you're ready. And also you need the goalkeeper, whether it's injury or form or whatever, just to give you that opportunity.
Just so, I think he's got me right there with Fred. Yeah, that's it.
What's this? Andrew Stone saying here? Go on, what's he saying?
Give him 5 Fred.
Now build your treble winning side.
When you've sobered up.
So, quick one, talk. We're going to get to share some screen in a minute because we're going to move on to Edison Cavani next. But what I want to do before we do it, guys, if you're watching, you need to contact us. So, talk. You
Smash
got
a like. Hit that like button as well if you're watching.
Hit the like and
button,
share.
40 people watching. How many likes have we got? How many likes have we got, Solo?
At the moment, we've got in. Oh wow, only 19, I think. Hold on.
19 likes. Come on.
23 likes.
Right. If we get to 30 likes, Solo's gonna sing.
On Monday we'll rap. On Monday we'll rap.
Yeah, on Monday we'll rap. Monday's raps. Go on, go on Monday.
On Monday we'll rap. And talk.
Only if I can stand up wearing a suit.
Wait, if we hit 40, Rise will speak French for us.
Bonjour, ça va?
There you go.
Wow, mon ami.
Don't hold it. Talk. Don't give the secret away yet.
Okay.
You've got to hit 40 first. So if you're watching, so talk. What was the names of that got drawn out yesterday?
So the first name was El Grande Chopper. Don't laugh. I'm trying to say it without laughing. Right, El Grande. Yeah. Blah blah blah. And Annette Davidson. So if any of those, if anybody in the chat knows any of those names,
what is it? What's the prize?
Bruno Fernandes signed shirt.
Oh yeah, I know both Annette and Grande. They live with me, so just send it to my house.
Nice one.
They're upstairs, and he said not a problem. Just give it to Jay, and I'll take it up. They're staying in my attic a little while over Christmas and that. They're isolated, so
isolated.
Just send it to me, and I'll sort out. Good, lovely people, Annette and Grande.
Oh, brilliant. So, talk, we're going to share it. If you're watching, please smash that like and subscribe button as well. And if neither of these people come forward, we will be then doing another live draw on Thursday. and Friday, every day until someone wins it.
You don't mess about, you do you? If they don't come forward, we're doing another one tomorrow.
7 days. 7 days
Yeah.
disclaimers. 7 days disclaimer. That was the rules. 7 days to come forward.
We have looked for those. We have looked for those names as well
Yes,
on
yeah.
YouTube and on Twitter, and I can't find them.
Can't find them.
You know what? We did one of ours. We did, and do you know what? Bless him, Matt. Shout out to Matt Dragon, I think his name is. We did one for PlayStation 5 and someone won it. And then we couldn't get one for months. We couldn't sell this thing. We couldn't. But we got one in the end and we sent it to him. So yeah, no, fair play to you.
Brilliant. Yeah, so we will wait for the 7 days disclaimer. And if they don't come forward whatsoever, then we're going to be doing a spin per show until someone actually wins it.
I'm the spin master. I love doing that
There you
spin.
go.
It's great.
So, talk. Henderson, Cavani, can we have the graphic up? The rumors Barcelona apparently would like to sign him for a fee of 3.5 million euro, which is 3 million euros, on a 18 months contract. So let's go to Jay. Start off with you. Let's start with you first. Henderson, Cavani, age 34, appearances 31, 11 goals. A lot of people around fan base I know don't rate. A lot of people don't rate him. I honestly think he's a baller at that age.
What?
Still a baller.
What?
The way he closed up. Amanda will tell you, we know a few people who do not rate him one bit. And he's a baller. So him leaving, would you like to see him stay on till this contract ends, or would you cash in now? 3 million.
Listen, I was talking about this earlier on Shirt for Paddock, and I think the problem with Cavani is just he's not been as available as we'd want in terms of his fitness. You know, he missed, I think it was 9 games last season out of 10 at one stage. We had 10 games and he missed 9 of them. He's missed quite a few games this season. I mean, he's still, I think he played 39 games in all competitions last season, 8 games this season in all competitions. So it's not disastrous, but you just want to see more of him because every time he plays a game, then he'll miss a game. He'll play a game, he'll miss a game. That's the issue with Henderson Cavani. But in answer to your question, would I want to see him stay? Yes, because I still think he's got something to offer. I think he's ended the number 7 shirt curse. He's a massive fan's favourite. I don't know where you're finding these fans that don't rate him. I'm not disputing you, but every fan I know loves him. His name gets sung at Old Trafford week in, week out. I think the only issue with him, you're looking at it there, 31 appearances. I don't know, what is that? Is that in the Premier League, 31 appearances?
31 all over.
All over?
Combined.
When's that from? From
when he signed. So he signed for us in 2021 season. And with that, that's 13 subs appearances as well.
Right, okay. I had it a little bit different. I think that's Premier League appearances you've got there, bro. That's Premier League appearances and Premier League goals. So, I mean, yeah, that's not amazing, is it, in terms of appearances and numbers? But you look at the impacts he's had. He gives us all a lift. He's a different type of player. He's a good influence as well. I love the fact that he seems to have taken Mason Greenwood under his ring, teaching him them little things, talking him about where we need to drop in, where we need to go for, look for the little gaps and spaces, protective of him as well, where it all kicks off in the Europa League. I love all that. And I'd like to see him stay to the end of the season. And what did you say? 3.5 million euros?
Yes.
I mean, come on. Who gives a sauce? 3.5 million euros. We're not going to go out and buy Kylian Mbappe with that money, are we? Do you know what I mean? It's not like, that's it now. We've sold Cavani, so now we're going to go out and get, I don't know, do you know what I mean? We're going to go and buy Phil Foden off Man City. Come on. It's like, that's not going to matter to anyone, that money. So I'd rather keep him around till the summer and then he can go on and then we can bring in someone more long-term. So, yeah, I'd like to see him stick around. My only sort of issue with Cavani is I just wish he wasn't as injured as much because when he plays, he makes a difference. He really does.
Yeah. Talk.
Oh, look, man, how can you not like Henderson Cavani, man? The guy's
well
said. It's just absolutely sensational. I mean, we know what his name, El Matador, Wolf. I like to refer to him as a hunter. I mean, he's out there hunting. He wants the ball. He's hungry all the time, hungry. And for me, I got to just look at this in terms of value. Are we happy to pay him? I think he's on about 175, 174 a week, which equates to about 9+ million. So are we happy to pay that? If he goes out and scores us that one goal that wins us a big trophy, is that good value? For me, of course it is. So you know what? Even if he only plays, if he does play every other game, then I'm happy with them kind of figures because the value of that is, you're not going to get that anywhere else for what he brings to the party. And like you said, Jay, what he brings and what he does for Mason Greenwood is priceless. He ain't going to get that nowhere else because there's only one Henderson Cavani, and he's at Man United, and that's where he's going to stay. We've got to keep him.
Yep,
Well said.
brilliant.
Well said.
OMONDI.
Yeah, I agree with what the guys are saying, man. You have to keep this guy here. He's a proper player, great influence on the club. We've got Mata hanging around. I'm sure that's for the same reason. He's a great influence in training, sets a standard, really great player. And Cavani as well, he's got to go down as one of the greats in Europe for the last 20 years, for goal scoring and things. His record is unbelievable. His movement, anyone watching football, any youngsters, I'd just say to them, watch his movement off the ball, man, for a striker. He's just brilliant. Scores with his head as well. We don't have many people, apart from Ronaldo now, strikers who can score with their head, And that's soon with all this dementia thing, it's a dying trade, isn't it? Scoring your head, He can definitely get in there with his head as well. So a bit confused with Barcelona, what's going on there, because Xavi brought in Dani Alves the other day. Now he wants to get a 34-year-old Cavani in as well. I mean, they're going to be strolling, aren't they? They're going to be playing at walking pace. He wants to go back to pick attacker, doesn't he? Where no one has to do any real work. Let the ball.
You can see what he's trying to do. You can see what he's trying to do there, Xavi. And you know what? He's got a good footballing brain, Xavi. We all know that anyway. We don't need me to tell you that. But I can quite clearly see what he's trying to do there at Barca. And I was talking about our sharp shock. I'm going to say it slowly. For us to get back on track. That's what we were looking for. And I can't remember which manager we were actually talking about at that time. I think you was on as well, Jay, when we were talking about, but I can't remember the manager, to be fair. Oh, no, it was Conte. That was it. He was talking about Conte. So I can see what he's trying to do in terms of Barcelona. He wants to try and get them back into that, that quick turnaround of winning, get that habit back.
Yep. So, guys, if you're watching, there is 57 people in the chat. We are at the moment at 30 likes, so make sure you're hitting that like button and also making sure you're subscribing if you're new to the channel. So let's go on and let's go to one story. We could put the graphic up, but it's not credible at all. Is Marcus Rashford, Barcelona apparently rumored, as according to some column, of
Hands
him
off.
going to Barcelona.
No chance.
No chance.
No way.
Impossible. Cannot see it happening. Jay from Manchester. Well, go on. Let's kick you off because you guys are from up north.
No, he's not having it. I'm not having it. And don't think for 1 minute that Marcus Rashford would have it either. No chance. He's been at the club such a long time. He was 7 when he come to the club. And he's got himself through the ranks, and he took that chance that he got, that opportunity, and he come on and when he burst onto the scene and did what he did. Right, and now he's a major part of the team
as well. Smash Arsenal up. Remember that, guys. Remember the Arsenal game. Anthony
Herbert,
you watching?
He's a massive part of the team. Listen, he's a massive part of the team, and I'm sure he will be a massive part of Ralph Rangnick's plans going forward because he's such an important player for us. And listen, I've been saying it for a couple of weeks about this. I don't think I don't think he's quite 100% match fit in terms of match sharpness and everything else, because he's had some things going on away from football as well, which have been great. I'm absolutely, so proud of Marcus Rashford because he's a Mancunian as well, which is great. For what he's done, for the kids and everything else, and the way he fought that, and the way he put himself on the line, because you see what the sad sort of pathetic people who shouldn't even be walking around did to that artwork that was made of him, which upset me massively. I was absolutely disgusted about that. I really was. And you know what? No, listen, he ain't going nowhere. Simple as that. And if I have to go to Old Trafford and chain myself to Edward feet, right, and do an hunger strike, I'll do it because Marcus is Manchester United through and through, always will be.
Jay?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything Talks just said. I mean, what's the rumour? Marcus Rashford to Barcelona?
Yeah, there's
This is the same Barcelona. Same Barcelona had to ask Memphis Depay to take a pay cut because they couldn't afford to pay the wages that they offered him. The same Barcelona have just signed a 40-year-old Dani Alves because they're trying to get Henderson Cavani for €3 million because it's pretty much what they can afford. They've been linked with selling Frankie de Jong to free up funds for Xavi to buy players. And all of a sudden, they're going to find money for Marcus Rashford, who's going to probably cost them about 130 million quid.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah.
There's more chance of me going to Barcelona than Marcus Rashford. Seriously. It's just not happening at all.
Yeah.
For starters, everything that Talk said is spot on. He's red through and through. He's an absolute United fan. Watch his interviews after the derby. When he comes out when we've lost the derby, he's almost in tears. He's a mad United fan. Look at what he's done. Look at how much he loves the club. Look what he's done for this club. I know I agree with so. He's not been quite his normal self this season. I still think he's not match fit. And I think he's adapting to playing in a 2 rather than on the left-hand side of a 3. But I think in Europe's leagues over the last 3-4 years, in terms of goals and assists, he's in the top 5 every year. I mean, he's massively productive. He gives you his all. He's a mad United fan and fanatic. And more to the point, United don't need to sell Marcus Rashford. And also, Barcelona can't afford him. So, other than all those reasons I've given him, I think he's going.
On Monday? Can't see it happening in a million years.
No. I think it's nice, though, for a player like Rashford to feel wanted by Barcelona. I remember Giggs was wanted by the top European clubs when he was flying down the wings. I think Inter Milan and Juve, a few clubs wanted him, and he stayed, and I think the same applies for Rashford as well. It's only when we don't need him, that's the only time I can envision him leaving.
We will need him all the time, though. We'll take him at Old Trafford in the wheelchair. Trust me. When he's
but the
90.
thing is, let's not get too hyped. I think Rashford still has a lot of improving to do with his IQ. I think he needs to get a bit better as become a better player all round. Obviously, he's got the speed, the pace. He can dribble. He can do it all like that. But I just still think he needs to learn the game a little bit more. So give him another 3-4 years, get him into his prime, and I think he can still improve. There's improvement there. He hasn't reached his ceiling yet. So stay with us, Marcus.
Stay with us. On Monday, a few more comments, please, if that's okay by you. On also, thank you so much for that. Jay watches the show every week and love us. Thank you, Jay.
Okay. So once again, Jackie, I always go to Jackie. She said, I agree, would be surprised if Marcus left. He's United through and through. No need to leave. He is where he wants to be. Yeah. Agree with that. Christopher Vaughan, Bowden's a better player than Greenwood, but Greenwood hasn't been coached by an elite team yet. Okay, that's interesting. Like I'm saying with the Rashford, I think he needs to improve. I think Greenwood.
Hold on,
that's why I want to keep these senior players around.
Hold the phone. You can't make that comparison. Phil Foden's not a striker. Mason Greenwood's listen. You could blindfold Mason Greenwood, spin him around 5 times, and then say, right, where's the goal? He'll put the ball in the net. He's an out-and-out goal scorer. This kid. I think
Mehdi agrees with you.
I agree with Mehdi as well.
Foden does his thing. All right, he's a good player and all the rest of it. Blah blah. But no. Mason Greenwood is a special talent. He really is.
I wouldn't swap Mason Greenwood for anyone.
Mason Greenwood all day.
I wouldn't. That kid, Mason Greenwood, could be United's top scorer of all time. Seriously, he could. Yeah. I know that's a lot to say on the kid, but he could. I wouldn't swap him for anyone. It'd be crazy to swap him for anyone now. And I think he's, I think we forget how young Mason Greenwood is. He only turned 20 a couple of months ago.
Wow.
Do
you know what I mean? Like people act like he's 30 or something. He's not. He's got
the guy from Fiorentina, the striker Vlahovic. He's 21. I'm surprised, and he seems to be at top of his game. But Greenwood's got a lot of growing to do, hasn't he? I think Graham Cook, how you doing? He's a good friend of mine. First time you're appearing on the channel. It's about time, man. He says, Big Zach. Eddie is in. Cavani should stay to the end of the season. We need him. We need to sign a big number 9, maybe Ed, for those headed goals. Yours truly, Graham. Yes, the winger. Yeah. You're the wing wizard.
Also, Monday, I'm going to put this comment up as well. Yeah, I'm putting this one up.
Hi, Reg STV. STV, how you doing? He says, good evening, peeps. Good evening to you. So it's crazy how Man United ST combined age 65 strike force is that. Cavani need to play with Rashford and Ronaldo with Greenwood, or let one of the old boys to let one young lads push on. I wish people would write.
The thing is with that, right? The thing is, I get that argument, but like Ronaldo and Cavani can play together if they were both fit.
Yeah.
Like we saw against Spurs. I think Spurs they played it together, didn't they? They both scored.
Wow. Tell them. I love that game.
The problem isn't the 2 old or whatever. They both look at them. They're both full of beans. They both play well, and I think players that good can play alongside anyone. You could put Marcus Rashford. You could put Ronaldo and Cavani next to, I don't know. You could put David De Gea up front, and they'd be able to play alongside him. They're that good. But I think you're right in the sense of it kind of works to have a younger striker alongside an older one. But I think any combination we've got with either Ronaldo or Cavani would work. I think whether it's Ronaldo or Cavani together, Cavani with Greenwood, Cavani with Rashford, Rashford with Ronaldo, Ronaldo with Greenwood. I know them two haven't quite gelled yet, but I think it'll come. So yeah, I think we're quite fortunate in the sense that if we are going to play two up top, which is what Rangnick seems to favour, I think any of our combinations could work. I think the only one who maybe is looking at missing out at the minute now, looks like he could be on his way, is Anthony Martial. I think might be.
I think you gave a great example there about the Tottenham game. That gives me thrills when I see Cavani linking up with Bruno and Ronaldo and the goals they scored in that game. Man,
fantastic.
Mean.
Yeah,
all on the same page.
So guys, if you're watching, please like, please share, please subscribe. There is 48 people in the chat and we only have 33 likes. So can we smash that like and subscribe button? So what we're going to be doing now, though, we are wrapping up. So let's start off with Jay. No one, I didn't wait on Monday. Did you give Jay that extra 50p to put in his machine today?
He will plug us. You know he's going to plug us.
Is that in the telly? Do you remember them days? Everybody put 50p in the
telly. I remember that. I've been sat there, watching the telly, and then bam, it's gone off. You're like,
telly's gone off. Hang on a minute.
50p.
People think I'm making it up when I mention that, man. 50p.
You know what it is, yeah, Jay? We did a show last night, and Maisie was on it, and she had no lights. And all of a sudden, we were having a little running joke about it, about our talk, give her like the 50. The minute we could say it, all of a sudden her light came on.
And then Talk's Wi-Fi went off.
Well, that's like, you know what I mean? It was suffering.
Oh, brilliant.
We're all skint on this channel. Help us out. Subscribe. We're doing it for the love, not for the money.
Oh, brilliant. Jay, as always, where can we find you?
Listen, you know where to find me on Stretford Paddock. If you've come over from Stretford Paddock, I always put a link in our community chat and I always do a little bit of a tweet on my Twitter. And if you watch me on there, give these guys a subscribe, give these guys a follow and a like, because every time I come on here, we have a top laugh. You can see that the knowledge is there as well. They know about football, they know what they're talking about, they're passionate, and there's no agenda here. I know it's called the United agenda. I say this every time I come on. There is no agenda other than getting behind this team, being honest and open about what you think about the players and where the club's going. And I love it. And I think, it's been a pretty testing time for everyone, lately with everything that's going on. It looks like we could be in, having more testing times ahead. But every time I watch this channel, I swear, I'm not exaggerating. Every time I watch it, every time I come on it, I get such a top laugh. I do. It's such a buzz. So, yeah, definitely give these guys a follow and a subscribe, man. They deserve a bigger following, and finally it looks like they're getting it as well, and rightly so.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Thank you. And there is a couple of people following you around as well, Jay. Reggie Thing STV as well. But guys, if you're watching, and I always say it right at the end of every single show, without you guys, we wouldn't have a channel. We really appreciate all the support you guys are giving us and all the likes, the shares, the subscribes as well. Thank you all for all the contribution. Thank all the panels as well, dropping everything what they're doing to be a part of the channel to give you some sort of content out there as well. But thank you very much. Subscribe. Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But guys, this is us. And remember, if you haven't subscribed as yet, if whoever haven't claimed for the Bruno Fernandes shirt, if you do subscribe, you get put in a draw. You never know. Yeah. Never know. And Jay will sit there and we'll send you a bogus shirt around later on.
You don't need to send a bogus shirt. Listen, it was El Grande and the other girl whose name escapes me.
People are living in the loft.
Oscar, she's upstairs, ain't she?
I'll go upstairs and ask her name again. But, you know what I mean?
Brilliant. Absolute top laugh, guys, as always. Absolutely love it.
I've got the monopoly on that one, Jay, because I've got their names right here in front of me.
Oh, I mean, all right.
Oh, brilliant.
I've done myself there, Ella. Should have wrote it down.
Thanks, guys. Really a pleasure. And as always, have a lovely evening and good night. And thanks to everyone who has watched and contribute.